Hello YouTube, this is Nyx. This video is a long time coming as it marks the very late conclusion of Peachtober / Inktober, and it took me longer than expected, but I'll get into it way later into the main video. And also don't mind the noises, that's just my dog. Anyway, starting off with day 11, Wheel, and I decided to draw Pinkie Pie basically riding on her bicycle. I don't know where she's going or I don't know where she's coming from, but that's the main gist of this drawing. But getting into why it took me so long to finish up like Peachtober, basically I got burnt out. I got burnt out right around, I don't know, the middle of this. Like after a couple of drawings, I completely burned out and I couldn't keep the same momentum anymore. But I still wanted to like finish at least like a good amount of like the prompts. So I did manage to finish at least like almost all the prompts. I think there's only like 2 or 3 prompts that I did not do. I'm planning on at least like doing them some other time and finishing them and posting them because I do have like the sketches planned out and stuff like that. It's just coming down to finalizing the sketches, lining them, and fully rendering them. That's like the main lip. But obviously I'm working on other stuff right now. And the other main thing that prevented me from continuing to finish Peachtober / Inktober was the 2025 Legends Webtoon contest that's coming up. I basically dropped finishing up Peachtober to basically just start working on it. That's the main reason why I stopped trying to finish up the trying to finish up the prompts. And of course I talk more about it later in my next video. It's all about comics. The next video that's gonna be coming up is gonna be about like a mini comic I made and talking about more about the comic I'll be working on for webtoon contest next year. Anyway, getting back to this drawing of a Pinkie Pie, I very much like drawing the full body and like I don't know, I just like drawing this art piece. It was very fun. It was very much, and the bike was actually the funnest part of this drawing. Drawing the bike was pretty fun, and rendering it at the end was also pretty nice because like I don't know, rendering metals is always kind of fun, and the background was fun. Everything about this drawing was fun. And let's not forget Gummy in the little basket. Gummy was also pretty fun to draw as well, but he's very tiny. He's very far away, so you can't really see him all that up close. But that was day 11, Wheel. Okay, and now going to day 12, Earth. And for Earth, I decided to draw my personal favorite ship in MLP, which is Rarity and Applejack. I personally don't care who you ship in the show. I don't know. I feel like it's fun shipping fictional characters in shows, but my personal ship has always been Rarity and Applejack. Even before I knew what being queer was, I was like, these two feel like they would date each other. Anyway, I feel like for this drawing, the hardest part about it was definitely trying to get the muddy effect, because basically what I'm trying to portray is that Rarity fell and then obviously Applejack fell to make her feel better about falling in like a big puddle of mud. But I feel like the hardest thing to portray was like their muddy clothes and hair. I don't know how to like paint mud, or at least like draw mud on a character. I don't know how to do that, so that was like the hardest part of this drawing, but everything else was pretty fun, especially the shading. You'll see later, but the shading like I did for like the sunlight piercing through the treetop, that was the funnest part. That was the funnest part. I love rendering and painting in light. I'm not great at it. I'm not saying I'm great at it, but I do really enjoy doing it, and I love how it looks afterwards. Like, I feel like I should really practice and learn how to shade and paint with light better, because I do enjoy doing it. So yeah, but I don't know, there's always like something difficult about learning new things, especially if you're an artist that's already found like an art style. You have a certain skill set and all these other things are like in line. When it comes to your art, it's always so hard to like force yourself to learn new things or learn more about certain things that you're already doing, because I feel like I already know everything, but that's not true. I don't know everything. But it's always hard to make yourself sit down and actually learn new things or learn how to do new things in your art, because I don't know, something about that. I guess it's like the fear of changing, like you fear your art style changing because you're obviously improving. That's always a fear for me for some reason. Like I always fear improvement and change because I'm so used to what I'm already doing. Some Like if you look at my art, like if you really look at my art, you'll see that it changes it changes a lot. Even sometimes it changes gradually, but it does change a lot. Even those minuscule changes kind of like throw me off, and I'm like, ugh, because it makes me look at old art that's not even that old. Like it'll be like I'll make an art piece like let's say 2 months ago I made an art piece, and then obviously 2 months later my art style has slightly changed. I can notice that change and be like and like be annoyed at it, and I'm like, now I want to redraw this art piece because so much has changed in just 2 months. So much has changed. But obviously, you got to keep that under control. Your art is always going to change. Your art is always going to improve. I feel like in art, there is no such thing as consistency because in reality, you're always making little tiny adjustments to your artwork. No, either whether you notice it or not, you're always making tiny little adjustments that make it look completely different than it did like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, even like 2 months ago. So yeah, but here we go with the lighting and the shading, my favorite part of any drawing I make. It's always going to be the lighting and the shading and the effects I add at the very end of any art piece. Anyway, that was day 12, Earth. And now coming to day 13, Cape. Now this art piece really just I really loved this one, and it also kind of blew up on YouTube Shorts. Like it got a lot of views. I believe it's at like not 600 views, which is a lot for me. Like that's a lot of views. That's a lot of people looking at my artwork, and I'm very happy about it. It makes me very giddy. But yeah, this one, a lot of people really liked this one. I mean, they also liked another one that I made. It's a rarity. It's gonna be coming up soon. Not soon, but later. But yeah, a lot of people really like this one, and I also really like this one. This one, I don't know, I just like drawing Twilight as this like super like magical looking powerful girl that she honestly is. She's the main character. I draw her as the main character because she is the main character, and she's my favorite character. Besides Rarity, she's my favorite. So yeah, it was really fun like drawing this very dramatic piece of her. I honestly just want to draw more of her and Rarity. Like I mainly like drawing her and Rarity. A side note, there's also going to be like bonus art, meaning like art of MLP characters I made. Basically taking a break from the burnout that I was experiencing because I just wanted to draw something else to like alleviate the burnout. So there's gonna be bonus art within this video as well. Art that has nothing to do with like the Peachtober prompts. But also I want to talk a little bit about Peachtober. Like for me, the reason why I didn't finish it was because like drawing 30 drawings in 30 days was the hardest part. Like I've done art challenges before. I did Mermaid and I completed Mermaid, which was basically 16 drawings in basically 1 month and a couple of days extra. I did not finish it in 1 month. Same with Inktober last year. Did not finish it in 1 month. I finished it in 2 months. So yeah, I do struggle out when it comes to keeping momentum when it comes to challenges or doing them on time because I don't plan properly ahead, but I plan to do a lot better in the future. So yeah, that was day 13, Cape. And now comes day 14, Borough. I hope I'm pronouncing that right because I feel like I'm not. I got a little bit of a lisp if you notice, like I got a tiny lisp. Anyway, Borough was honestly a very boring prompt. It was kind of just meh. I mean, I like how it looked, but kind of forgettable in my personal opinion. Like, if I think of all the art that I made during Peachtober or Slashing Tour, I'm like, oh wait a minute. I wouldn't like think of it. Like, it wouldn't come to mind because it was kind of just a meh drawing. I mean, we all have those, like those drawings we made, and we're kind of just like, wait, did I draw that? Because you kind of just don't remember that you drew it because it was just so underwhelming. It wasn't difficult. It wasn't easy. It wasn't anything. It was just kind of meh. Again, I have nothing to say about this drawing. Again, it's just meh. But back to talking about working on prompts and drawing prompts in 30 days. It is really hard to do so. Like, I don't know what it is, but time crunches don't work for me. I don't like being put under like restrictions like that. I think my main problem is the fact that even when I'm like I procrastinate, which is something I talk about in a later video. I procrastinate a lot, which results in me not planning ahead when it comes to things that have time crunches, which results to me not finishing things. And also procrastinating and taking up time doing other things to kind of like not focus on the thing that I'm supposed to be doing. And then I end up being in a position where like I have to like rush to do something, and then I put myself in like a lot of stress trying to do something, and it's like, yeah. Anyway, that was day 14. Borrow. And now coming into the next day, 15, 16, and 20. Lamp out and rest. I did say that I combined a bunch of them to kind of like try and finish the prop list as much as possible. I combined a lot. I combined a lot together. But back to what I was saying about like my procrastination leading to me not being able to finish prompt lists. Basically, I had at least like a month ahead to plan and to like plan everything for Peachtober, but I just didn't because I procrastinated a lot and I was overthinking a lot, and I didn't come to a strict idea of what I was going to do for Peachtober until like the very last couple of days before October started. So yeah, like before I chose to only draw MLP drawings for Peachtober, I was planning on doing something else. And then before that, I was planning on doing something else. So I constantly changed my mind every single time, so I couldn't properly prepare for Peachtober. So yeah, I feel like preparation helps a lot. And lack of procrastination also helps a lot. Nowadays, I'm just like, I'm gonna plan for everything. I'm going to plan. I'm going to think ahead so that I don't fall in the same trap of not being prepared. Because now thinking about it, it also applies to the context, to the webtoon contest I want to enter next year. I have to plan a lot for that contest. I mean, they want 40 panels for at least like 3 episodes to begin with. Then after that, they need an additional 2 episodes to continue to like enter for the second time in the contest. And it's like, that's a lot of prep work. That's a lot of work. And right now I'm just getting the story down. I mean, I have the story in my head. I just need to write it down. I have everything planned out in my head. Just gotta write it down, and that's all. But yeah, this comic will need a lot of preparation, a lot of work, no procrastination, and I've been doing better at not procrastinating this couple of months. Anyway, that was day 15, 16, and 20. Lamp, owl, and rest. Honestly, this one was really fun to draw, but I feel like Twilight is too small in this scene. Like, she looks like she needs to be a little bit larger in the scene. But hey, I doubt anybody else noticed it but me. But yeah, I really enjoyed making this one. And now coming into day 17, slow, which is Twilight again. I tried to draw Twilight and Rarity as much as possible during this Peachtober. Like, I tried to draw them as much as possible. And also, I don't know why I keep saying this Peachtober when like this is the first time I've ever done Peachtober. Am I ever gonna do it again? Probably not, because next year and probably a couple of years after that, I'm going to be busy with other art projects. So I won't be doing any art competitions if I can help it. Like, I won't be doing any. Because I am planning on fully like diving head into YouTube, and definitely diving head into making comics. I mean, it's gonna be like my first fully made comp, so it's not gonna be the best. I don't know if it's gonna be the best. I really don't know. I'm gonna work my hardest to make it the best I possibly can. Making comics of any kind needs you need a lot of experience, from what I've noticed and what I see when it comes to professional comic artists. And I'm basically going into this with like not that much experience. I have like writing experience because I used to write a lot as a kid, and I basically would write every single chance I got in high school. I wrote a lot. I write a lot. Like, I have a lot of stories written out. I have a lot of plots and like scripts and stuff like that written out, and so writing is not the hardest part for me. The hardest part for me is portraying what I wrote down. Like, in terms of art, that's gonna be the hardest part. But I feel like I think too lowly of my skill. Like, I think too low of myself to think that I'm not going to be able to portray certain scenes. Even if it's hard to portray a scene, I'm still going to be able to do it. There's 3D assets, 3D models, pictures of backgrounds, hands, people. If I'm struggling with one thing, I can just like go on Pinterest, Google, or any other image website and Google this random post or oh a shop or whatever and just like take inspiration from it or reference it. So like I basically just put a cap on like my skill set when it comes to like thinking, oh, can I do this, can I draw that, is this too much, is that too much? When in reality I should be confident in the fact that I can do this, I can do this, and I will do this because like I really want to win. Like I want to win. I feel like you should have this type of attitude when going into a competition. You gotta hope that you fucking win. Anyway, that was day 17 slow. And now day 18 fast, which is obvious who I had to draw for the for a prompt fast. Rainbow Dash. I don't know how to feel about this drawing. I feel like the funnest part about this drawing was drawing her hair like blowing in the wind, and also like motion blurring everything, and also the pose. The pose was also pretty fun, and the shoes, as you just seen, those shoes were also pretty fun to draw. I mean, I feel like I like drawing shoes. I like drawing shoes on characters because I don't know. I feel like something about it. I like shoes in real life. Like I have a lot of like pretty shoes that I really like. I basically like sneakers, pumps, and like like pumps, like basically boots, really feminine boots, stuff like that. And also, I do have Crocs. I'm not saying I like Crocs, but I do have them, and they're very comfortable. But yeah, this drawing was not, I mean, it was fun. Again, the hair part was fun and the boots were fun, but everything else was kind of just, honestly, it was just an art piece that I made. Honestly, I feel like having fun while making a drawing is really important, but sometimes even if you had fun making an art piece, you may not have memory of whether it was fun or not, because I don't have any memories whether this was fun. I definitely don't remember it being not fun. But also another thing was like the perspective on the hand. Does, like, raise your hand in the comment if you struggle with perspective, especially when it comes to like the body parts of a character, especially the hands. My god, like I struggled a lot with like the hand pose because like it always felt weird and disconnected. I'm pretty sure it doesn't look weird, I'm pretty sure it looks fine, but in my head like it looks weird to me. It's like there's no like arm behind the hand. I don't know, my brain basically just goes crazy over thinking whether it looks okay or not, but I'm pretty sure it looks fine, it looks decent. But it wasn't like the most difficult part to draw. It was basically just a part where I was like, does it look okay, does it look too big, does it look decent enough, does it look bad? I mean, the hand is supposed to be big because it's basically coming towards the viewer, in like it's coming towards us, so it's supposed to be like bigger than her face if anything. I feel like my idea for this drawing is basically like her being in like a roller blading contest. I know most of them basically take place indoors, but I didn't have an idea of how to make the background look like she's indoors, so I just decided, oh, she's doing it outside in nature. Which sounds like a really bad idea now thinking about it, because there could be a lot of factors that cause accidents, like people tripping on leaves, not leaves, sticks and rocks and stuff like that. So probably would be pretty dangerous to do it outside. But that was day 18 fast. And now for another combined prompt day, we have day 19, 26, 29, crocodile, backpack, and break. Here we have Pinkie Pie taking a break of running her bakery, basically like a bakery coffee shop that also sells smoothies. It's basically like a broad stroke of what she makes here. But the idea is that she's taking a break. Obviously, there's a backpack and her crocodile is sitting up in the front in his doggy bed. Wait, is Gummy a girl or a boy? I don't remember, but it doesn't really matter. But yeah, Gummy's sitting in their little doggy bed. But basically, this idea also falls through into another art piece I made, basically the prompt village. I decided to draw, a little spoiler ahead, I decided to draw Rarity basically sitting out front of this cafe with the village in the background. Basically, village, the prompt. But yeah, Pinkie Pie's shop does show up again. But another little Easter egg I also added is that the backpack that Pinkie Pie has is a custom made one made by Rarity. I mean, it's really small, like the text is really small at the very bottom corner. It says like rarity or rare. I forget if it says rare. No, it says rarity. Even at the top it says Rary. It's basically like a little hint to show that they support each other's businesses. Like Pinkie Pie bought a custom bag from Rarity, and Rarity comes to her bakery on occasion to have her lunches, have her breaks from work and stuff like that. Now getting into the difficulty of making this drawing, it was difficult. It was difficult to like, I don't know, it's really difficult to draw characters sitting in an environment because it's always hard to try and make them look like they fit into that environment. Are they too big? Are they too small? Is the angle correct? Are they looking the wrong way? It's always hard to fit an organic character into like a very rigid perspective. But when I say rigid, I mean obviously when it comes to man-made items, they are very much structured. They have a shape, a structure. So whenever you put an organic like thing into that space, it always just ends up looking weird. But I feel like I really nailed it and I did really great, and I really enjoyed how it turned out, especially the background and the effects that I did for everything. So yeah, adding to that, I feel like with a little bit more time and experience in drawing characters and backgrounds and in scenery, I'm probably gonna get a lot better when it comes to drawing backgrounds. And that being day 19, 26, and 29, crocodile, backpack, and grape. And now coming into day 21 and 22, another combined prompt day, greenhouse and radish. Now for this one, I kind of wasn't sure which character to include in this because, I don't know, none of the MLP girls are necessarily like, well actually no, Applejack is a farmer, but she's not like a radish farmer. She mostly just farms fruits. I feel like she mostly would farm just fruits, apples mainly obviously, but I wouldn't think of her farming radishes. So my main idea for this is that maybe there's like a little radish greenhouse in the village, and like Fluttershy is helping picking up the radishes and stuff like that. This isn't her greenhouse. She's not the one growing them. She's just the one like picking them up for somebody because they want to cook something with radishes. It's like a communal greenhouse. I mean, there is some strawberries and other plants in there because I don't know. But yeah, it's a communal greenhouse, and that's basically the main idea of this. And for this specific piece, I drew it right after I got a new brush pack. I believe the name is by D. Just I guess search up DI Ghibli brush. I'll put a screenshot of like the I guess the author tag of the brushes up here. Anyway, these brushes are really good. Like I'm using them a lot more now, like when it comes to drawing bushes and clouds. I mainly use them for bushes and clouds. I've also used them for stars as well, but I mainly wanted the brushes for the foliage and the clouds because painting clouds and painting foliage is always just not that fun. But yeah, anyway, that was day 21, 24, greenhouse and radish. And now for some bonus art. Like I told you, there's gonna be a lot of bonus art in this, and obviously this is one of my fave, Twilight Sparkles. I basically wanted to make, see, I don't even remember the inspiration for this. It's basically just her with like the wind blowing in her hair, magically of course, and like a light spark coming out of her eye. Obviously, I feel like I didn't execute the light spark as much as I wanted to because I wanted to be like consuming her eye, but it doesn't do that in the end, which I wish that I fully committed to it, but I kind of did. But yeah. And I'm gonna go back on the topic of like procrastination and now planning ahead. I feel like for the comic I'm planning on making for webtoons I just mentioned, I'm really gonna go all in on planning, but obviously executing because the execution part is making the actual episodes. So yeah, I want to get at least like 6, maybe even 10 episodes done by the time like the competition winners announcements are up. Anyway, that was the bonus art that I made in the middle of this. And now to day 22 village, and here's the bakery scene that Rarity is in and the village in the background. I didn't know how to fully execute this because like I don't know, I don't draw like building designs, like to draw just mainly a village in the background. I mean, I feel like there's so many ways you could do it, but I'm not at that skill level to fully like idealize of how to do it because I don't know, I like drawing characters more than anything, so obviously most of my art pieces are gonna be character heavy. Obviously if I was a person that liked drawing backgrounds more than anything, then obviously I would figure out a way to make it work, but personally I like drawing characters more than anything. I don't know, that's just a me thing, like just having like, oh, a spew of character art on my profile and then this random just one piece of just background and that's it. Nah. I mean obviously the background can serve as a character in most pieces from time to time, like it can be the main focus, but for me personally, I just like drawing characters more than anything. So yeah. The village isn't that much of a big part of the scenery, but it's still a part of the scenery, so it still kind of counts. And also, I did see other posts of people drawing villages, and they also just either drew one building, two buildings with a character in front. So nobody like actually designed a whole ass like medieval townscape or whatever. People did what they felt comfortable doing, and that gave me confidence to also just do what I did here. So, and if you made it this far into the video, you're probably not bothered by the way I talk, but I am not good at public speaking. I have never been good at public speaking. Like, I can talk for hours, but doesn't mean I talk all that eloquently. I don't even know if that's a word I should be using, but I don't talk all that, I don't know, properly. I don't know what word to use. I really don't. But yeah, I remember being in high school, and every time I'd give a speech, my teacher would always be like, hey, talk a little louder. I can't hear you, while I was standing like right next to her. So yeah, I've always had an issue with public speaking, but who hasn't? Almost everybody has had an issue with public speaking. And for me, I had the biggest issue back in high school, but I'm not gonna say I overcame it, but hopefully I do overcome it at some point, because I'm 20 years old and I still struggle with public speaking, or at least speaking to multiple people. But yeah, that was day 22, village. And now for another bonus piece with rarity. Another thing that I like realized when making this drawing, as you saw in the corner, I'm referencing a My Little Pony screenshot of Rarity in this like almost Parisian outfit. I don't know if that's like a that is a stereotype. That is a stereotype of people who live in Paris who dress like with like an all black like neck high shirt with like a little beret. But but yeah, I basically just saw that screenshot on Pinterest. I was like, oh, I want to draw this. Again, I did these like smaller pieces in between the prompts to kind of battle against my burnout. So I was having fun while making this. But again, the thing that I wanted to mention, my brain has become so background heavy since starting this like Peachtober challenge. My brain has become very background heavy. Like right now, almost every piece I draw, there has to be a background. There can't be a background. And if there isn't a background, there still has to be something super interesting in the back of the character to justify it not having a background. They can't just be floating in the void no more. And even if the void is colored, they still just can't be floating in the void. Like I genuinely like putting my characters into backgrounds nowadays. I'm even planning on doing a redraw video where I draw the very first drawings I made on my iPad. Hopefully you'll watch that video if you like redraw videos. But yeah, I also end up putting those characters in the new drawings in a background. And I'm also questioning whether or not I should also include a drawing I made on Ibis Paint, which is also like the first iPad drawing I ever made. And that's another bonus piece I made for Peachtober. And now day 25, stone. Now obviously when I think of stone, I usually think of gemstones because Steven Universe. I mean, I feel like every Universe fan, when they hear stone, is like, ooh, crystal gems? Gemstones? Shiny pretty rock ladies? Oh. But anyway, obviously I drew Rarity for Stone because I don't know, when I think of Stone in the MLP sense, I think of Rarity's obsession with gemstones and stuff like that. So obviously I made her wearing like gemstones on her head, on her chest. She looks very regal, very elegant. She's at a fancy gala or whatever the fuck. And honestly, the background I chose to make for the like the cityscape in the back, it's very interesting because I made it look very futuristic, which like it's very futuristic but also very like magical, which I kind of like the concept of, because like honestly I wasn't thinking that hard about it, but now that I look back at it, I'm like, okay, okay, past me, you did something. I'm actually proud of myself when it comes to the background. And honestly, the foliage, the bushes, again, that brush pack, you gotta get it. The Ghibli brush pack, you gotta get it. Especially like you gotta get it. You gotta get it. Anyway, and I really had fun painting in like the buildings and the lights and the floating gems. Not let's not forget the floating gems. Now I don't know what kingdom this is supposed to be. I gotta be honest with you. I don't remember much about actually no, I do remember a lot about My Little Pony. I just don't remember like small little details like kingdom names and stuff like that. I don't. Was it the kingdom of Equestria? It was the kingdom of Equestria. I'm pretty sure it was Equestria. I can't pronounce it probably, so I'm not gonna try again. But you know what kingdom I'm talking about. But what was it? That kingdom with like all the crystal people, where Twilight Sparkle's brother was about to marry the princess there, but bitch got fucking kidnapped and switched out with the poison bitch. Not the poison bitch. I forgot what type of fucking pony she is. I don't even think she's a pony. She's like an insect pony. Again, I remember everything about My Little Pony. I just don't remember tiny little details like the names of a species or the name of a kingdom. But I could, in the most broken way, basically recite the whole plot for MLP front to back. Okay, maybe not the back part, because for some reason at the later seasons of MLP, it's not like I stopped watching, but I don't know whether it was because of school, but I basically lost touch of keeping up with the story. I think it's because I have a mindset of like, if I miss like 2 or 3 episodes, I basically drop a series, especially back in the day when when I didn't have like a streaming service to watch MLP on. But obviously nowadays I don't do that. I just rewatch the episode. God bless streaming services. But yeah, and even still, the streaming service that I use, Netflix, it doesn't have all the MLP episodes. For some reason, it only has 16 episodes. I'm struggling out here not being able to rewatch the show. But yeah, that was day 25 Stowe. And now we're at the final art piece for my Peachtober slash Inktober, I guess, spout of work. Obviously, it's not a prompt art piece, but I still count it in the same like group of like, oh, Peachtober slash Inktober, because mainly it made me want to draw more MLP characters. But yeah, this is another bonus art of course, Twilight Sparkles. I drew mainly Twilight Sparkles and Rarity for the bonus art. I still have a bunch more bonus art that I want to draw. It's basically in sketch form right now. I don't know when I'm gonna draw and post it, but I'm probably gonna do that in the future. But again, right now I'm working on the comic, so I'm probably not gonna be doing that anytime soon. So yeah, but I also have another little update. I got a brand new PC. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it in the next video. The video that comes after this one was made before this one, so what I was talking about the PC is kind of invalid now. But basically, I got a new PC that works way better than my old janky laptop that I got like fucking 5 years ago. You'd think something 5 years old wouldn't really be that janky, but it is. Even though I don't have that many programs on it or anything on it, it's not that like, it just has a really poor processing speed. Like it doesn't process things properly. Like it takes at least, not exaggerating, at least 15 to 20 minutes for me to like, for it to turn on. It's that slow. So luckily I got a new PC. It cost an arm and a leg because they didn't offer monthly payments, but luckily, due to the power of saving up money, I was able to get it. Very fortunate and very happy to get it. But it's gonna pay for itself. I am not just gonna buy something and not let it pay for itself. That laptop, not laptop, but that PC is going to pay for itself, whether it be me working on commissions on it, making the comic, or any other job I do with it. It's gonna pay for itself because but yeah, but I am very happy to have gotten it. Now I can actually like, and I also just yesterday got the Ethernet cable to connect it to my Wi-Fi router, because girl, when I say I rearranged the room thinking that my desktop was too far from the router, I rearranged my entire office because I thought it was too far from the router, and because I can't really move the router because it's connected to a wall outlet that's specific for internet services, only to just get an Ethernet cable the next day. But yeah, that was the very last art piece for Peachtober slash Inktober, and I also really like the story that the specific piece tells in the background with all the little like clues and hints that it has on the posters behind her. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to check me out on any other platform. I have a Blue Sky, I have an Instagram, I have a Twitter that I don't use that, not a Twitter, a TikTok, that I don't use that much, but feel free to go there as well. don't go there. I mainly just post the same content as on Instagram. I just have it for, I don't know, for any for because people always say, oh, multi-platform posting, which I get it, but TikTok, really? I don't like TikTok that much. I get it's beneficial for most people, but TikTok scares me for many reasons. But yeah, feel free to check me out on any of these other platforms. Follow, like, share, comment, subscribe, do all those other YouTube things, and see you in the next video. Bye.